Hey traders, welcome back to the FXE YouTube channel. Hope everyone is doing good today. What a crazy move we had yesterday. Man, still can't believe it. Anyways, in today's video, I'll review the recent price action, talk about that move in a little more detail, and then analyze the markets to give some ideas for price we want to go today. I'll try to make it quick, as there are really only a couple scenarios I'll be watching for today, and honestly, if neither of them play out, I probably won't be trading or even on the charts today. So let's get into the charts and we can have a look in a little more detail. So starting with the fundamentals, just want to give a quick explanation of yesterday. So recently we've heard more and more about fears of inflation. Well, the CPI result confirmed this, which will likely trigger bigger interest rate hikes to fight the growing inflation, and this had an immediate effect on the dollar, causing it to shoot up. Today you can see we also have PPI for the dollar. Well, we have CPI for the UK as well. I'm honestly not sure the impact this will have on the markets, but PPI potentially may have a bigger impact. So this is during New York session, and the reason why I say it may have a bigger impact is kind of a follow-up of yesterday. So PPI is also an inflationary measurement, but for this one it's from the perspective of the producers. To be completely honest, I'm not sure the impact this will have on the markets, but I can assume if it shows a value higher than expected, like CPI did yesterday, it may show more signs of increasing inflation and potentially push the dollar even higher. So anyways, let's move on to DXY. So going back to yesterday, we continue to push down London session, and continuing nearly until New York Open. It only started to show signs of strength, I don't know, maybe an hour or less before New York Open. But it did give some clear signs that it could push to the upside at that point. And the moment CPI was announced, actually it was right before CPI was announced, you can see jolts to the upside. And then when CPI was announced, it had some massive pushes to the upside after, and then just spiking up pretty much in one candle. Before it started to slow down, consolidate, and continue higher. So to be completely honest, I don't really think there was any chance to get into this trade unless you already happen to be in one. It was a little risky. I myself was in a trade. I probably won't go into too much detail into explanation, because all it really was is looking for the area that I wanted to enter from, see a lower time confirmation that I wanted to see, and then just sticking with the fundamentals and my bias, and hoping the trade moved into my direction. But anyways, I'll explain a little more when we get on to EU. But anyways, so price pushed all the way up to the 4-hour supply. It also came right into the daily OT area, and then after it started to show some signs of weakness and started to push down from there. It's come down a little, not really so much. I mean, considering the aggressive move that we had yesterday, I'm obviously thinking continuation to the upside today. Just not exactly sure if there is potential where we do have some structure that's created in this area to reverse and push up from here, or if we break that structure area and push down further for a bigger pullback before reversing. Didn't really look at the 15-minute to be completely honest, but yeah, you can see. So we do have some structure here that's been created. So potentially, like if you look here, we do have some demand that's created. Let me use this one, and we also have some demand here. That's also been created where the price can reverse and continue the upside from here. If it goes below this, then all we really have is imbalance. We do have an OT area, but as we don't really have much to monitor on the left, if DXY breaks this level, I really won't be looking at the charts anymore today. So anyways, let's move on to EU. So looking at where we were at yesterday, so probably did the video around this area. So since then we started to push to the upside. We did have one last push down, which gave me some indication that it may come down, and I was looking in this area to short. There was shorting opportunities, but I was looking for this move, so I didn't take profit on the 3 or 4 entries that I had. All of them, all of them went back break even, but I believe maybe 2 of them were actually up a couple percent before reversing and taking me out break even. So that was a little unfortunate. And then what happened next after that? So EU continued to the upside all through London session, and at the very end of London session it tapped into extreme supply. There was also a refined 15-minute supply zone here, which ultimately reacted off of. There was some really lower time frame, like 1 minute, last point of demand breaks. Some really small signs that it could reverse from here. I took the entry anyways, and the only thing I did to cover myself is I actually had a wide stop in case the price played around before pushing down. But fortunately I didn't have to worry about that so much, because right after I got in, it started to push down. New York opened, there was somewhat of a pullback, but then as we got closer to CPI, it really started to like small impulses to the downside, and then the moment CPI was announced, it just dropped. So anyways, after dropping, it did start to create some structure in this area, as well as this area, before continuing all the way down to the daily demand. There was also a 15-minute refine zone that price reacted off of before it started to push to the upside. And let's have a look on the 15-minute. So as I was saying, you can see that there was some structure created at the bottom of the leg, so all of this is in balance on that huge impulse to the downside. So some structure was created here, as well as here. So potentially we could see this supply area hold, as well as potentially this supply area holding. I'll pretty much just be monitoring these two levels. So this level, actually this level may not be such a good level, because now what I'm starting to see is we're starting to build a lot of liquidity. So as we're building more and more liquidity, I could see all of this being swept, and this may be a more probable target to look for continuation trades to the downside. But anyways, as I was saying, I will still monitor this. I mean, it is clearly reacting, but it also reacted here as well. So it reacted, it held for quite a while, and then it impulsed right through it, going to the next supply zone. So we could see the same thing happening here, where it appears like it's holding, may give some small signs of weakness that it may come down, and then suddenly just you'll see that it was just a reaccumulation and then pushing through the supply and then coming up a little higher. But at the same time, I mean, it could distribute here and also reverse and come down. So anyways, as I was saying, these are the two key areas that I will be monitoring to look for reversals, to get into shorts. If neither of them hold, if price breaks the supply, potentially this area could also be a supply area, or at least on the 15-minute. It's not clear if it's a supply zone or not. What is clear, it's a buy to sell candle. So this could also act as supply as well. So maybe this area as well, I'll also monitor. But if price goes above here, then we're likely to see a bigger pullback. And the problem I see, if we do see a bigger pullback, is it's really not much to monitor. So damn it. So we do have this imbalance in this area. Jesus. Sorry, I should have prepared this in advance, but I wasn't thinking about this or looking at it in much detail at that time. So anyways, we have this imbalance zone here. So this is the top of the imbalance zone. This is actually also the 4-hour supply. I mean, considering what we saw yesterday, I would be extremely surprised, especially as we have more inflationary news coming today, to see price come all the way back to this level. Even breaking this level, I would honestly be surprised if it went that high. Let's go back to the 15-minute. Yeah, I mean that's quite significant if you look at it. I mean, there is always a chance. I personally would like to see this supply hold. Honestly, we're getting really close to Frankfurt Open, and apologies, this video is recorded so late. But yeah, I would like to see this supply hold and look for shorts from here. But obviously, if it shoots through it, then it'll continue higher. But where, if this holds or this holds, it's tough to say. But if this doesn't hold, I'm not sure I want to continue watching. I did say this one could also hold, but I mean, that's really starting to get so high in the leg. I could just see it continue to the upside. Sorry, just a second, my phone's going off. Alright, sorry about that. Yeah, so if it goes that high, I'm thinking maybe it can just continue up all the way into supply. But like I said, looking at the fundamentals, I would be surprised if that happens. I'm more inclined to keep a close eye on this supply area and watch for potential reversals from here. I mean, you already see it's already looking like it could. I mean, this probably right here is a lower time, last point of demand break, if it comes down maybe with 1 pip lower. And it's, like I said, getting really close to Frankfurt, so potentially this could be an area to look for shorts. But at the same time, we may get a pullback. It may continue and push to the upside, and then come to this supply, which could make a little more sense because we have all this liquidity creation. And then looking for reversals from there. Not thinking or considering long scenarios for the day. Yes, it could happen. As I said, we do have a lot of imbalance. We could go back and take some of that liquidity before reversing and pushing down further. But at the same time, I'm not convinced that's going to happen. When we have big moves like that, we usually have small pullback, and then after that, continuation to the downside. So I'm only looking for shorts today, and I'm only looking from these two areas. Okay, anyways, that went a lot longer than I was expecting. But anyways, that more or less sums up what I was thinking, my views on the market for today. Hopefully you guys found it useful, and let me know your thoughts on the market movement for today. You can leave a comment below to share your thoughts. And as a reminder, if you found value in this video, please be sure to click the like button and subscribe to ensure you don't miss any future videos. Have a wonderful trading day today, and looking forward to seeing you for the next one. See you soon. Peace.
Hey, you made it to the very end. Thanks for that. If you could do me one more favor and click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, it'll allow the YouTube algos to kick in and help this channel grow. Thanks again. Cheers.